Hello, everyone. Let me know if you see me hopping in here for live number 121. Yes, I see myself. Perfect. Okay, let's see here. Let's see who has joined me. And let me just go back here. Drop a hello and your name if you're joining me. Just want to hop in here to make a comment if I can. I see 7 eyeballs have popped in. I see 8 eyeballs. I'm actually trying to, sorry, tech things. I see 8 eyeballs, but I don't think I see you guys yet. Comments, it says, oh, there you guys are. I couldn't see your comments. Now I see Sherry, I see Claire, I see Barbara, Condra, Laura Lee, Michelle. Awesome, awesome. Good to see all of you. I'm just gonna tag everyone. Awesome. And Rosalinda as well popped in. Awesome. All right. Okay. I see you guys now. You guys were not popping up initially. Hi, Marcy. Good to see all of you. So this is live number 121. Is improper rest and recovery taking away your gains for muscle growth? And, you know, I chose a background where you could like relax a little bit in the background. I don't know if you can see like a little hammock. Oh no, I'm getting blurry. Hold on here. Let me fix the camera here. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, this is a very relaxing background for all of you. So we can all talk about rest and recovery, right? Awesome. I see Melissa popped in, Kelly Keen popped in. Awesome. All right. So if you are new here, we are going to do a quick intro, whether you're watching on here or YouTube. This is me going live in the Fierce Woman community where we sculpt powerful bodies and champion mindsets. It is a free Facebook group that you can join where I go live every single week. And I go on all sorts of topics, including nutrition, workouts, muscle, mindset, you know, and today is rest and recovery. So yep, so drop a hello if you're joining me and put your name so I know who is with me. I see also Wanda, Peggy, and Diana Thomas with me. So rest and recovery is something that's very, very important, but I haven't done one in a very, very long time. I did one about 2 years ago, and I was like, you know what, it's time to get back on that train because, you know, I think a lot of times we talk about workouts and doing things and, you know, going, you know, to the gym, but we often forget that the opposite, slowing down and resting, is really important. And I'm saying this because it's a very big thing that I've had to learn as well, because I'm naturally a doer, I'm an action taker, and I actually don't like to rest. So this is something I've actually learned over time through my own mistakes and injuries and talking to different coaches and where fatigue sets in and when you know fatigue sets in, as well as working with so many menopausal women. It's like a lot of you are always sore, or you have trouble sleeping, or your energy is not there. So I just thought this is a really important topic for everyone to deep dive on. Hi, Tracy. Good to see you. So just some wins here. We actually have really big wins this week. Okay, so ready with your cheering emojis and hearts and hands and whatever it is. We have a really big week here to celebrate. I want to give a congratulations to Tracy Terrain, who just jumped in here. She joined the FFF program, and we are starting next week. So congratulations, Tracy. I also want to give a shout out to Kathy Machalico, who also is in the FFF program. However, her story is unique. This is her second round of FFF. She is just committed. She did FFF, and then she did 6 months of Muscle Accelerator. And then she liked FFF so much, she's like, I'm coming back for a second time. So Kathy, kudos to you. I think one of her testimonials is in the guide number 3 or 4 of her body transformation. So yeah, so proud of you, Kathy. Just committed to your health. So the FFF program, we have a small cohort, about 5-6 ladies. We are in the final few days of uptaking. We are shutting off all registrations for the FFF program this Sunday. So if you don't know what the FFF program is, it is a small group coaching program where you are going to be taught about inflammatory markers, how to have proper calories, how to have proper macros, and how to build fierce, strong muscles with a very structured program. Okay, so this is the last call for FFF. If you do want to learn more about this, drop FFF below. Okay, so drop some hearts for those ladies. There's more. I also want you to welcome Jody Peebles, who has now joined the transformation program. Her daughter, Brooke Peebles, those of you who have been clients before know she is the yoga teacher in our program. So Jody is her mom. So I'm so excited that her mom has joined the program and is ready to transform her health and fitness. And the transformation program, in case you're wondering, is our custom coaching program. That's the program you get to work with me one-on-one, where I directly work with you through 3 months to 4 months of training and coaching together for your nutrition, your workouts, and really dialing in specifically to you. So that's the transformation program. So give Jody lots of hearts as well, because I'm so excited for her to go through a similar program as her daughter, because her daughter also did transformation programs. So super cool. And hi, Tracy, good to see you. And I wanted to give a shout out to 5 more ladies in the 21-day anti-inflammation system. We had some join already last week, but we are in the last 2 weeks of uptake for 21-day anti-inflammation system, cutting off next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So I want to give a shout out to Vicky LeBlanc, Portia Hewley, hopefully I said that right, Kimiko Simpson, Sandy Kessinger, and Shenika Sebastian. All of those have now registered into the next 21-day anti-inflammation program. We are so excited for all you ladies. Just really excited for all the things happening right now. Lots of people taking their health really seriously and investing into these programs. So if you are not sure, you're like, what's FFF? What's 21? What's transformation? If you want to just have more information on all these programs, just drop programs below and we can reach out to help discuss further with you what they are. Again, there's 3 programs as of right now. So like transformation, FFF is group coaching, and 21-day anti-inflammation program. Okay, awesome. So I see lots of people join: LaShawn, Linda, Vanessa, Tara, Diane, and Tracy, Valerie, Helen, Becky. Thank you for all joining in. So yes, drop lots of hearts for these ladies. I'm so excited for them. So let's dive into the topic of improper rest and recovery. Taking away your gains from muscle growth. So rest and recovery is always important for everyone. However, as you get older, as you go over the age of 40, your body will actually take a bit longer to recover from physical activity and daily stress. Not to mention that as you age, your muscle naturally declines, your joints start to become a little bit more stiff, your, just your overall like bone density starts to drop. So, with aging, already things are declining. So if you don't have proper rest and recovery, it really can really hinder your progress, right? So I know that's why you guys are all on here, to really try to understand how to better maximize your workouts, your muscle gain, and all of that. So I'm going to go through 10 points. Okay. 10 points. So number 1, don't skip your warm up and cool downs. Okay. This is something that I find a lot of women, because we are very busy, and I totally understand, sometimes you just go straight into your workout and you go in, you get out of the gym, but you forget something that's very crucial for your body, which is proper warm up and cool downs. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit in regards to this. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about warm ups. Okay. So when you get to the gym, you can't really expect your body to go from 0 to 100, like start lifting right away. You should be properly warming up with some cardio. And it doesn't have to be extensive amounts of cardio, but I always do warm up with a little bit of cardio, 5 to 10 minutes, or depending on your goals, it may be a little bit longer, but some type of cardio to get the body warm. Okay. Now, like outside of cardio, I do really recommend doing mobility exercises, or what's called dynamic stretching. Okay. So there's a lot of talks about stretching and how to properly prepare your body. I don't think static stretching is necessarily the best right before your workout, because that can take away tension from your muscle, although that is debated right now. But I do think to prepare your body, think of a dancer. When a dancer prepares their body, a lot of times they're doing like leg swings, they're doing hip drills, they're kind of preparing the movement of their joints for what's to come. And I do think like dynamic stretching, dynamic movement, and joint mobility exercise is one of the best ways to, warm your body up and prevent injury. And having the initial cardio will also prevent like muscle strain and soreness because you're just more warm in your muscles. Okay. So how many of you guys do your warm-up or don't do your warm-up? Put it below. How many of you guys feel like you do your warm-up or don't do your warm-ups? So that's really, really important for recovery. I see lots of people joining in. Poha, Jen, Janet, Cheryl, and Sabine. Good to see you. So put below, do you guys do regular warm-ups? Okay. Now, let's talk about cool down as well. So sometimes you finish your workout and you got to get out of there, and then you don't have a proper cool down session. So cool down is also extremely important to your rest and recovery. Okay. So after you work out, you should probably do a light cardio as well. Maybe again, 5 to 10 minutes, just helping to circulate the blood. And always good, Sabine, I'm glad. And regular warm-up, Rosalinda, good, awesome. And then cool down as well. So afterwards, you want to do a little bit of cardio and then static stretching. So now, instead of at the beginning, you want to do dynamic stretching, joint mobility type of exercises. At the end, you want to maybe do more static stretching, which is more a position you hold and stretch into. You warm up. Good, Oshone. That's very important. And I know Oshone has been working on her flexibility for quite a while now. She used to not be very flexible, but yeah, she is working on it every day. She told me even in the shower, she stretches, right, Oshone? Yes, and warm up cardio, Diana. Awesome. So after your workout, you want to do static stretching, which really helps to stretch out the muscles you just worked, which is holding a position for about 20 to 30 seconds. 30 seconds, I think, is better. And why is it important that you actually take time to cool down your body and not just like, I finished, now let's walk out the gym, right? So there's a number of reasons why this is really important to your rest and recovery. Sorry, Oshone, I see your laughter. Sorry, you told me you stretch in the shower, so I love it. So the first thing is when you take time to cool down and do some cardio and some stretching after your workout, you help prevent the pooling of blood in your muscles. Okay, because sometimes the blood is circulating in big workouts. If you stop all of a sudden, you can cause blood to pool in the muscles, which of course is not good. When you cool down, you allow your body to have a heart rate recovery. So it allows your heart to gradually come down, and it prevents stress on your cardiovascular system. As well, by cooling down and doing sort of a little bit of cardio and those static stretching afterwards, you can get rid of waste products that built up during your exercise, which often is called lactic acid. Lactic acid builds up in your muscles. So if you're really sore afterwards and you didn't stretch, you didn't cool down, that could be one of the reasons. And it's more like it aids in muscle soreness. Not that it'll completely get rid of it, but I think that if you allowed your body to properly cool down, you can get more lactic acid out of those muscles and be overall less sore, in the days to come. As well, by cooling down properly, you can prevent yourself from getting dizzy, because sometimes if you stop all of a sudden, the blood pressure drops really quickly. And then it also promotes venous blood return. So again, like not having the blood pool or having the blood come back up is really important to prevent blood clots, right? So these are pretty standard. As you know, some people do warm-ups and cool downs all the time, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people actually don't stretch, and they don't actually take the time to like warm up and cool down. So let me ask you, I saw a lot of people say you warm up. Let me ask you, how many of you actually do your cool down, your proper cool down? Put below, say cool down or don't cool down. Put below which camp you are in, okay? Diana, you said to metabolize lactic acid. Correct, cooling down is to circulate and get that lactic acid out. You're still going to be somewhat sore in the days to come. But yes, lactic acid is the waste products, right? The byproducts of what you're using your muscle for. So if you can actually like do some light cardio, get that moving, it will move it out of the muscle faster. So Tracy says no cool down. Rosalina says cool down could improve. Okay, so I see lots of people do warm up, not enough people do cool down. So just making sure you guys do prioritize that cooling down. I do really prioritize stretching afterwards, because I do feel it in my body, because, you know, obviously, you know, and I'm sure many of you guys are doing that as well, but I'm training to build muscle. So I go pretty hard. I find if I don't stretch afterwards, I am more sore the days after. So that's something I really prioritize on. So don't cool down much. Okay. So this is just something for you guys to keep in mind to improve rest and recovery. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, ignoring rest days. Okay. So a lot of women, you know, just want to do more, and they want to grow their muscle, and they're working out hard. But they forget that as part of growing muscle, you have to schedule proper active recovery and rest days. Okay. Schedule proper active recovery and rest days. Now, I am speaking to you as much as speaking to me. When I was back competing in my, you know, those number of shows, because I trained for fitness realm, which means I had to have a routine on stage on top of that. I never really rested. And again, when I look back, I really feel like I could have even done better and had bit more size if I actually rested more, because I would train at that point 6 days a week and train at the gymnastic club for 2 of those days. And so it was really hard on the body. But, you know, now further along, many years later, I understand, like, if you don't have the rest and recovery that you need, you are going to over fatigue your body, and you're not going to build the muscles that you really, really want, or the size that you want. Okay. Hi, Raddy Zhao. Yes. And Rita, good to see you. And so let's talk a little bit about scheduling active recovery days and rest days. They are similar, but not the same. You need both of them. Okay. So rest days are complete physical rest, meaning there's no structured workout. You're really not doing a whole lot. You're just allowing your body to recover. You can do a little bit of stretching, maybe some gentle walking, like everyday walking. But that you're just generally allowing your body to actually rest, right? So rest days are really crucial for actually helping your body have proper muscle repair, right? It gives your body time to like repair the cement. My coach used to say, you know, you have to remember, after you work out, and especially a hard workout, it's like pouring concrete. It's like wet concrete, right? So you don't want to like go back to the gym and work out on top of the wet concrete. You got to make sure that wet concrete kind of becomes a solid concrete before going back to the gym to be able to work out and build on top of it. So you need rest days for proper muscle repair. You need rest days for proper injury prevention. Again, kind of the same cement ideology is like, if you or analogy, you know, if you go over your wet cement, you'll create indents in your wet cement and more likely to have injury, right? So rest days are important for injury prevention. Rest days are also important for nervous system recovery. And again, this is something I also learned over time, that you could feel fine, like you might be a go-getter and you work out hard, but a lot of times your nervous system is being like, shaken, right? When you're working out really, really hard, and you need to give it time to actually like come back to normal. Otherwise, if you stress your nervous system too much, I laugh because I love working out hard. I would wear 40-pound weighted vests, all of this type of stuff. It is going to actually affect your sleep. So some of you who have maybe trouble sleeping, it could be that your nervous system is under too much stress and you haven't given it enough recovery. That is a possibility. And I definitely know the difference in my body of how it feels, because Clarice has gone through a lot of like not resting type of situations. So, where your body feels okay, you can still do it, but somehow your nervous system doesn't feel quite right, or you feel burnout, like you feel like you don't want to go back to the gym. You feel like you're not motivated, even though you were motivated before. Sometimes this internal burnout is actually a nervous system burnout. So you want to just be careful in regards to that if you have trouble sleeping and all of that. Cindy says, wet cement example. Excellent. Yes. Awesome. You can thank my coach for that. My fitness coach, my first fitness coach gave me that. And then as well, having proper rest days is really important for hormone balance. Okay. So if you don't rest properly, you're going to cause problems with not only cortisol, the stress hormone, but you actually will inhibit your growth hormone and testosterone, which is essential for muscle growth and overall health. Now, testosterone has a little bit less to do with women's muscle growth. We use more DHEA, other hormones, and insulin growth factors. But in all of those areas of muscle building hormones, they actually get hindered as you have lack of rest days. So you could be working out super hard, but not getting the right hormone signals, and then not being able to build your muscles, right? Hi, Sherry. Hi, Mona. Hi, Cherry. Hi, Karen. Good to see all of you. And the last thing for the rest day is just mental replenishment, right? Like you just need time to go, one day of not doing something in the gym, even though some of us are addicted to the gym. I get it. You're speaking to one, and I'm sure a lot of you are addicted to the gym, but sometimes you need the mental refreshment and replenishment, right? So Mona, thank you. That's awesome that you are enjoying the information. So yes, we will tag you, Terry, on the replay. So that's rest days. And you should have, at least one, if not two rest days, depending on how you're training, how your program is structured, which I'm going to talk a little bit more later about the structuring of the program. But yes, rest days are important. Let's talk about active recovery days. So active recovery days are not rest days. They are days where you are actually doing something, but you're just doing it at a lot less intensity. So you're not going hard like in a workout. You're just kind of doing like easier, lighter cardio. So maybe like swimming or gentle work on the elliptical or yoga. Those are good active recovery days. You're still moving, but you're just doing everything in like a lower intensity. Now, why do you want active recovery days and not just rest days? Because active recovery days, they help you improve circulation. So let's just say a rest day, maybe it's a rest day and you sit at home and you watch TV or you do something. So you kind of just rest. There's a place for it, but then it doesn't actually really move your blood that much, right? Whereas with active recovery, you are actually moving your blood regularly. So with active recovery, you're improving circulation, continue to move out waste products, reducing muscle stiffness, and maintaining consistency, maintaining consistency in your routine of going to the gym or doing something every day or moving every day. And so both are really important. And I would say, like, in your whole programming, you should probably have a little bit of rest and a little bit of active recovery. So for a lot of my clients, if you kind of look at your program, you'll notice there's a lot of stretch programs in between a couple of your workouts and things like that. So, or you will have a lesser intense workout program on one of the days. And so it's all programmed a certain way. So how many of you guys listening feel like you need to schedule better rest and recovery days? So put below if you feel like you need better rest or better recovery days, or both. Depends on your goal. Hi, Lynn, good to see you. So how many of you feel like you need to rest and recover more? Put below. And I think this is something that is just, I think you learn over time. I think sometimes, as women, we are just like, we need to do it. More is better, but more is not necessarily better. And again, Clarice learned this only over the years. More is not always better, but you have to vary it in the right ways depending on your goals. An athlete or a competitor, there's sometimes you just have to train a certain way, and it is going to be really intense. But depending on your goal, that's going to change, right? So Tracy, you said you definitely need to recover more. Yeah, you need to have active recovery a little bit more. Yeah. Hi, Jackie, good to see you. And put below for you guys, which one do you guys feel you need more, rest days or recovery days, or both? Just let me know that. Sorry, over here. Okay. Awesome. So let's go on to number 3. Rosalie says, I feel like my body reminds me to take a rest day. And that's really good, Rosalie. So like, that's another thing, is like listening to your body is really crucial. But sometimes, Rosalie, what I will say is not waiting till your body says you need a rest day. Actively scheduling rest and recovery days is really important, because by the time we get the signal that we need a rest day or we start to feel burnt out, it's already too late. It's the same as water. By the time you feel thirsty, your body is already dehydrated. So I would encourage all you ladies listening that it isn't something that you do because you feel tired or burnt out. You do proactively. You proactively schedule your rest days, proactively schedule your active recovery days, right? So Rosalind said both. My body needs both kinds of days. Yeah, Elizabeth. Yeah, and I think, Elizabeth, I know sometimes you deal with a lot of cortisol. I think we spoke about this because she was in the FFF program. So yeah, really being cognizant of scheduling those into your days, okay? Hi, Mona, good to see you. All right, number 3 is my favorite topic. Guess what's coming? Everyone's like, I know what Clarice is about to say. We followed her for so long. All right, so number 3 for proper rest and recovery is you need to have proper balanced nutrition. Surprise, surprise, is Clarice coming back to this point. You need to consume proper amounts of protein, healthy fats, and carbohydrates. And there's a saying that says, like, abs are made in the kitchen, right? And this is what I believe. If we say muscles, I have a phrase, this is my phrase, that muscles are activated in the gym, built in your sleep, and fed by your nutrition. Okay, can I say that again? Muscles are activated in the gym, built in your sleep, and fed by your nutrition. So you can activate and go work out all you want, but if you don't feed it the right nutrition and don't have the right types of nutrition going into it, it's going to be very hard for you to build muscle. And obviously there's sleep, which I'm going to talk about in a bit as well. And so as you age, and especially women over 40, you do need a little bit more protein, which I spoke about before. Your protein requirements are actually going to go up. Your ability to absorb protein actually decreases. So you actually need to take more than what you may think. And if you are strength training particularly, the requirements for protein is a little bit higher. And again, it ranges so much. That's why this is a hard one. Again, I said this last live, it goes 0.8 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram body weight. But that's such a large range, right? So it's something that you want to be aware that you do tend to need more protein. And if you're training resistance training, you do need more protein, but try to get the right advice and seek help from a professional to understand what's your need on that. So I'm going to talk about 3 things that you need to understand in your nutrition to properly have proper rest and recovery. Okay. This is actually from my Fierce Woman DNA methodology. Those of you who have followed me for a while, you guys will know these 3 things is what I really, really, really focus on. In order to have proper rest and recovery, number 1, you need to be attentive to the quality of your food. Okay. So the quality of food is what kind of food is entering your body, and it's not just any protein goes, but it's like quality protein, quality carbs, quality fat, right? And in addressing quality of food, I always talk about addressing inflammation in your body. So we are talking about the topic of rest and recovery. Okay. Let me talk a little bit about if you are eating highly inflammatory food, your body will produce a lot of cortisol, and cortisol counteracts not only your ability to recover, it is counteracting your ability to, manage the free radicals in your body. So when you work out, you produce free radicals. Actually, your body's always producing free radicals, which is like the apple going brown in the air, right? Our bodies is being exposed to different toxins all the time. So there's always free radicals being produced. When you work out, you actually release a little bit more free radical. Apparently, you need a little bit of free radical, though, to actually create muscle growth because it signals the right repair process. However, if you have too much cortisol and it has high stress, it can't really repair properly, it has more free radicals running through your body, you're going to have not only the hormone imbalance, but trouble rebuilding muscle or repairing properly if you have high inflammation in your system, and you're more likely to be sore. So some of you who are extremely sore, I forgot which individual on the 21-day program, she had done the program and she mentioned like she wasn't sore anymore. She was always sore and it took her so many days to recover. And she did not realize that actually her soreness was from so much inflammation. So you want to make sure that you are addressing quality of food to ensure proper rest and recovery and to maximize muscle growth. Okay. So everyone who's listening, let me know below, do you feel like you need to work on quality of food? Is that something that you're like, okay, I need to work more on quality of food? Maybe I'm not addressing inflammation, or maybe I'm sore a lot and sore for a long time after my workouts and it's taking a long time to recover. Those could be indicators that you may need to address quality of food. Okay. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Jemsetta and Janice. Good to see you. Yvette and Mona as well. So put below, do you feel like you need to work on quality of food? The second aspect of the Fierce Woman DNA methodology is quantity of food. So quantity of food is obviously the total amount of food entering your system, which is the total amount of calories and the amount of macros entering your system. Proper rest and recover means you need to have the right amount of food entering your system to help you build muscle, right? If you don't have enough food or nutrition, you're not going to build muscle. You're not going to recover properly. And this is actually one of the number one reasons women actually have trouble recovering and gaining muscle, is actually being undernourished or fed. Believe it or not having enough total quantity of foods. So you have to make sure you have the right amount of calories and protein, carbs, and fat. Now, I say that it's not just protein. Again, the emphasis when muscle building is the topic is protein is going to be super important, but carbs and fat is also so important because carbs is your energy source, is the builders of your house. The house and the brick is the protein. But if you just have protein, that's not enough. You can't just go, I want to eat lots of protein. You'll just have a pile of bricks sitting there nothing is being done. You need the workers to go build the bricks in place, right? And then the fat, like I said, is the electricity that runs through your building. And so if you want a functioning building, you need good quality fats to do that. So having the right quantity of foods is really important. So put below if you feel like you need to work a little bit more on quantity of foods. So I asked earlier, if you struggle with quality of food, put quality of food. If you struggle with quantity of food, put quantity of food. And make sure you comment below there, just so I know that you guys are with me and that those comments are running. So Rosalie says, no, quality food is good. I cook and prepare food, whole, clean, and organic food. Good, Rosalie. I'm glad. So quality is really good. And then there's quantity you have to really consider, and having the right amounts of protein, carbs, and fat, like in the quantity of food. And then the third thing is timing of food. So depending on your level of your goal, this is where it will differ. Obviously, there's going to be differences a little bit in if you have weight loss goals or body recomposition goals, bulking goals of gaining a lot of muscle, or you're an athlete and in competition training. That will affect your timing of food, and you're good with quality and, oh, sorry, Rita. Yeah, good with quality, need quantity. Yeah. Potentially, Rita, you might be a little bit low. I'm not sure. Most women, a lot of women tend to be low and not feeding their body quite enough, right, Rita? So I'm glad you're honest, and thank you for contributing. Barbara says, I am hearing a lot about the carnivore diet is super healthy. Yeah, there's a lot about the carnivore diet. You're asking someone who believes very holistically. So I believe that you need protein, carbs, and fat. I believe you need all three. And the carnivore diet is heavily and very based in a lot of protein, like a lot of protein. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I'll say about that. Could there be benefits to certain parts of it? Yes. Just like could there be benefits of certain parts of fasting or certain parts of other things? It's never black and white. So whenever you guys are looking at like these new fads or new trends, there is a reason why it has worked for people. But remember, sometimes it's a half truth, or it's a truth that does not apply to your body, to your age range, to your specific situation. So you have to always evaluate any food or nutritional principles you're hearing. Is it relatable to you? Like an example would be like, fasting is actually not great for people who have gone through a lot of dieting. A lot of dieting and have poor relationship with food, and they have yo-yo diet their whole life. Fasting is probably a really not good direction for someone to go. It could be a good direction for someone who's been an athlete, who's healthy, so we got to always evaluate where are these, diets coming from, and are they applying to our body and to our stage of life, right? Yes, hopefully that answers it. And hi, Denise, good to see you. So timing of food, like I talked about. And so the timing of food is important. It is not as important as total amount of protein, carbs, and fat in your body in a day. That is what's most important. However, if you are a high level athlete, it actually is important. If you are a competitor ready to step on stage, it does matter when some of these nutrition is profiled and how much higher certain amounts of things need to be there, like higher amounts of carbs, carb cycling, protein cycling. Like there's a lot of specifics around that, but usually for most people in general lifestyle, you don't have to go crazy on timing, but it depends on who I'm talking to. If you're coming to me as a competitor, then I have certain ways of I'll work with you. Or if you're Vivian, who is ectomorphic, she is someone I have to be very, very on top of her nutrition, because her body processes food so extremely fast. Is unbelievable, right? So for her to try to gain muscle, I really have to dial very, very diligently on her macros. So Melissa says, you're welcome, Barbara. I struggle with food, period, but I understand the importance of quality and quantity. I'd like to know more of the timing. And Melissa, like I mentioned, timing is important. but not as important as understanding overall quantity of your food. So if your total quantity of food in your day is off, it's almost like a little bit odd to talk about timing, because in your day, you don't have enough of your nutrients anyway. So let's just say you eat more around your workouts, but in overall, you lack protein. Overall, you lack certain things. It's not going to help you that you ate more around your workouts as much. It may help a little bit, but in general, your body needed more protein. So therefore, like, it almost goes in that order. So for those of you who are in my program or coming into my program, especially FFF group coaching program and or transformation, it goes in that order, right? I work with people in quality of food, then we address quantity of food, and then we address timing of food. Those are the three things I address sequentially, right? So it's good that you guys are starting to understand that though. So if you guys know you need to work more on one of the aspects, you can put quality, quantity, or timing. And if you are wanting to learn more about, the different programs that addresses this, because most of my programs are heavily emphasized on nutrition, then you can put programs below. And just to address again, because I keep getting asked this in Messenger, the 21-day anti-inflammation system, which is starting cut off next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, and then we start, is specifically addressing quality of food, is specifically addressing how to bring down inflammation in the system. It's addressing quality of food. FFF group coaching program or transformation program addresses all three: quality of food, quantity of food, calories and macros in your system, and timing of food. So it addresses all three in FFF group coaching and transformation. So if you want to learn more about the programs, you can put programs below, because I know there's always so many questions on them. All right. Hi, Vanessa. I like your name. It's very nice. Emma and Mary, good to see you. All right. So that's number 3, is making sure proper nutrition for proper rest and recovery. Number 4. So sometimes people forget it, not everybody, but you have your macronutrients and you also need to address your micronutrients, right? Your micronutrients technically is vitamin, minerals, and water, but we're going to talk about water in a bit here. We're going to talk about micronutrients being your vitamins and minerals. Now, my belief is that if you eat whole food spectrum, you're going to get majority of your vitamins and minerals, usually mostly from natural foods. Okay. However, I did a couple lives on supplementation before. Now in our day and age, with our farming practices, with the things they add to things and the long transport of food to the marketplace, and how long it sits out in the air, you're just not having as nutrient dense foods. It's just a reality of it. And even when you're super on top of your nutrition, sometimes you're not able to eat all the color of the spectrum that you need, just because of busy lifestyle. So I do think having awareness of what you need in your body for micronutrients is really, really important. Now, this is not a supplement live, so I'm not going to go extensively on like all the supplements and things that you potentially could need, but I'm just kind of throwing out 3 big ones that you probably should consider for muscle building, which is vitamin D, calcium, and magnesium. These relate extensively to your muscle building processes. And there's a lot more. There's about, I think, 8 different vitamins that you really want to consider in your muscle building process. So in the 21-day program, I talk about it in the muscle sculpting masterclass. There is an extensive list I go into for different supplements that you need to maximize muscle growth. And the maximization of muscle growth relates to how these vitamins interact with your hormones. And so it's a little bit extensive because that training is 3 hours long. So again, if you want to learn more of the muscle sculpting masterclass, you can put that below. That's where you can learn more about micronutrients, or you could just put micronutrients. And I did a few micronutrient lives in the past, and we can always pass that onto you, but the really extensive one is the muscle sculpting masterclass in the 21-day course. So you can either put micronutrients or 21, either one works, but it's also just to make sure you guys understand micronutrients are important to your rest and recovery. I do find sometimes, if women are not on top of it, they can be very lagging, maybe in calcium or in magnesium. Those are extremely important to your muscle building process. Okay. How many of you guys feel like you need to have better micronutrients in your body? Like you never considered it? Put it below. If you feel like you need better micronutrients, put it below in the comments. Okay. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Giselle and Tammy. Thanks for joining. All right. So macronutrients are important. Micronutrients are extremely important for recovery. So let's go on to number 5. So number 5 is not getting enough sleep, not getting enough sleep. So this is common for a lot of women because I know we live busy lives, and sleep is also not my strong suit, but it is very important. I'm laughing because this rest and recovery live, Clarice, needs to work on it too. So that's why I'm laughing. Tracy said need better micronutrients. Yeah. And Tracy, you are in the FFF program. So you're going to learn lots in that program in regards to that. So you want to, on average, it says between 7 to 9 hours of sleep is really important. But everybody's rhythm is different. I can function on 5-6 hours of sleep, and it's like I say that the best amount is when you feel rested. When you actually feel rested, that's the amount that you need. Everybody's body differs, and it depends on what you do too, like what kinds of workouts you do, how stressful your days are. That impacts how much sleep you need. But proper sleep is really important for muscle repair, hormone regulation, and overall well-being, right? So if you want to have better muscle recovery, you need proper sleep. So let's talk a little bit about inadequate sleep and what it affects in your muscle development process, okay? So hi, Beth, good to see you. So first of all, if you don't have enough sleep, it's going to affect your exercise performance and physical adaptation. So it means that in your workout, you're actually not going to be able to push hard. You're just not going to have the stamina. You're not going to have the endurance and coordination. And your body actually has trouble adapting to moves. If you have new moves or new things that it needs to adapt to, it actually is slower to adapt because it just is tired and fatigued all the time. So this will affect your performance, right? Rosalinda says proper sleep. Yes, good. I'm so glad to hear. Number 2 is if you don't have enough sleep, it could increase your risk of injuries. And that's no fun. Nobody wants to be injured in the gym, right? Number 3, it will affect your hormone balance. If you don't have enough sleep, it will affect your hormone regulation. And of course, the biggest hormone is cortisol. So if you don't have good amount of sleep, you are going to be dealing with the stress hormone that impedes muscle building and puts belly fat on you. So if you have belly fat, a lot of times that means you're struggling with the hormone cortisol, or as a result of cortisol and other things related to it, okay? And it affects, like I said earlier, your growth hormones. So if it affects your growth hormone because you're not getting enough sleep, it is going to impede your muscle repair. As well, if you don't get enough sleep, it will disrupt your woman's hormone. And if you obviously still have your period, it will disrupt your menstrual cycles. If you're menopause, it will cause more severe menopausal symptoms. So we want to make sure that we're getting those healthy sleep patterns and right amount of sleep. If you don't get enough sleep, you will also disrupt your hunger signals. So your hunger signals are ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin makes you, tells you you're hungry. Leptin tells you you're full. When you don't get enough sleep, this actually disrupts those hormonal signals and it increases your hunger signals in your body, which will cause more cravings. It will cause overeating and more likely weight gain. So if you tend to have a lot of cravings, you may be under cortisol stress and maybe lacking sleep. So you want to make sure that you're on top of that if you want proper rest and recovery for your body. Okay. As well, if you don't get enough rest and recovery, this will impact insulin sensitivity. So meaning your body actually cannot respond to insulin properly. And if it cannot respond to insulin properly, like the cells are not uptaking sugar, all this type of stuff, this can lead to potential prediabetes. And so sleep is really important for many things. And it also leads to weakened immune systems, increased stress and anxiety, and elevated blood pressure. So I guess sleep is very important. And we all know it. Like, honestly, sometimes I think a lot of things I say is not that things you don't know, but it's things that you need to be reminded of, because lots of people know what is right, but they don't do it. A lot of people are info beasts. I say they gather all the information, they're info beasts, but they don't actually apply it properly. So you want to make sure that, it's easy to hear me say it, but it's easy to know, but it's easy to do, and it's easy not to do, right? Like, it's easy to stretch, but it's easy to not stretch, type of thing, right? So yeah, Melissa says, Eureka. Melissa, I know you're under a lot of cortisol and stress, and that's something we talked about before. So yeah, a lot of the weight gain, or let's say fatigue or belly fat, can be connected back to improper rest. So yeah, I'm glad this is making sense, Melissa. And hi, Laura, thank you for joining. So how do you improve sleep? So there's a lot of different things, and I've actually opened up some sleep seminars before. I know from another group that one of my entrepreneur friends did, and he did such a great, I think he did a 3-part series on sleep, which I may consider putting it in the 21-day course actually. But he went through all the details around how to have proper sleep. Now, just some quick tips around proper sleep. You want to make sure that you have consistent sleep schedule. You want to create kind of a bedtime routine, something that relaxes you, create a sleep conducive environment, have blackout curtains, have a white noise machine or some sort of sleep music on. So just creating a right environment for yourself. You want to generally keep the room cool, which probably a lot of you do, because a lot of you menopause, you kind of have to keep your room really cool. Otherwise, it'll be really hard for you to sleep. And you want to make sure you turn off all blue light devices around you, because blue light does interfere with your circadian rhythm. And you want to try to turn off it 1 hour before bed so that you can actually get into your deeper sleep. Okay. So how many of you listening feel like you need to have better sleep for recovery, or you have good sleep? So put below, you need better sleep, or you already have good sleep. Let me know below. And if you're getting really good sleep all the time, you are doing amazing, because a lot of women don't get really good quality sleep. So put it below. Are you getting good quality sleep, or you need to be better with your sleep? Okay, so put that below. So we are on number 6. So number 6, in terms of rest and recovery, is staying hydrated. So like I said, water, vitamins, and minerals are actually micronutrients that all come together. But staying well hydrated, I wanted to give it its own point because it's very important. You see it as bigger than my head. Do you see this? You need to have lots and lots of water. Okay. And I see Sandy says need better sleep, and Winter says better sleep, and Melissa says better sleep. Mine is inconsistent, right? So these are all indicators to you, Sandy and Melissa. If you have trouble with muscle building or belly fat, really prioritizing that sleep is really important. But jumping back to the water is making sure you stay well hydrated. I know that 2 liters or 8 glasses is kind of like the general recommendation. Again, if you follow me a long time, I don't like general recommendations because I think general recommendations produces general results. Yeah. So I really believe like for a lot of people, you should be drinking more than that, right? Because you know, unless you're not very active, if you're not very active, maybe that's enough. But if you're very active and you're working out, like you should be drinking 3 liters, maybe even 4. I know sometimes people ask why I drink so much water, but if you're using up the water, if you're exercising or sweating a lot, or, you know, you're doing a lot throughout the day, it's important to stay really hydrated. Hydration is absolutely crucial to your recovery. And if you are dehydrated and not knowing that, that will impede your recovery process. Okay. And part of hydration is be careful of caffeine drinks. And I said this last time, if you have too much caffeine or a thing like fat burner pills or whatever, you're going to stress your adrenals and it's going to be harder for you to like rest and recover. Caffeine also dehydrates you. And as well, I just have a note on electrolytes. Electrolytes are okay. It's kind of one of those things I think you should consult with your professional or with your health coach. I don't think everybody needs electrolytes. I think that a lot of the electrolytes out there have things that I don't really approve of or agree with. And not everybody needs electrolytes. Your body actually has a really good self-regulating kind of system to regulate electrolytes in your system. However, of course, depending on where you live, what kind of workouts you do, you know, are you sweating a ton? That does matter. So, you know, consult with your coach or your professional to make sure, do you need electrolytes? But all in all, I believe just well hydration is really crucial to your rest and recovery. So how many of you feel like you are well hydrated or you need better hydration? Put it below as well. Do you feel like you could do better with drinking water or you need to drink more water? Yeah, put it below. Hi, Jennifer. I'm glad you joined in. And Ruthie, thank you for joining in. So that's number 6. Number 7, oh, you went swimming. Well, I was just talking about water. So there you go. You were getting a lot of water. Hopefully you were not drinking a lot of the swimming water though. Awesome. Thanks, Jennifer. We'll tag you. So Ann Winters, you drink a lot of water. Yeah. Tracy, hola. Yes. Okay. We will tag you. And Sandy says need more water. And Sandy, honestly, I really think having a big water jug is so crucial because honestly, when I have this in front of me, I just am motivated to drink more, you know, and it just reminds me. And this one has like, you know, those, where is it? Like the time schedule on there. So it tells you to actually drink water at certain times, and you can just buy those from Amazon. So a lot of my clients all have those big water jugs. Awesome. So number seven, for rest and recovery, for proper rest and recovery, you want to, even though I said this at the very beginning, you want to have proper warm up and cool down. I put this as a separate point. You should be prioritizing working on flexibility, mobility, and foam rolling. Okay. As you age, your body is starting to go through a lot of changes. Your joints become stiffer, your muscles become stiffer, and you have, usually because you're stiffer, decreased range of motion, which means that you're more likely to get injured. You're just easier to get injured. So it's so crucial that you do work and prioritize on stretching and flexibility. Flexibility is stretching that muscle out to its maximum range, right? Like in your hamstring muscle, or you know, like just like stretching your chest muscle when you're up against the wall. So really stretching those muscles is really important. And mobility is not the same as flexibility. As I spoke on one of my lives before, mobility is the movement around your joints, right? The ball and socket. So the ball and socket, you want to make sure that you're kind of continually moving it and working on that mobility so that your joints can actually stay supple and lubricated. So, because what happens if you don't move a joint for a long time? You guys know this. it just becomes stiffer and stiffer, right? So you want to make sure you're really doing mobility exercises, prioritizing that, and prioritizing foam rolling. So do you guys know what foam rolling is? Yeah, where you have the big foam roller and you roll it on it with your muscle on the leg or on your back. It's one of my favorite things to do, but it's actually really important to help circulation, to help those muscles remain really supple, to get out those knots and kinks, because sometimes it's the knots and kinks that actually cause injury. Speaking from experience, trust me, sometimes you ignore a knot you ignore something that's wrong, and then it shifts one thing, then it shifts the next thing, and the next thing you know is like your rib is out or something like that. And so it's really important to regularly foam roll and stretch and do mobility exercises. Yes, Diana, we can send you the replay. So for my clients, you notice in your program, most of you will have dynamic stretches with some static stretches at the end, because I really want someone to work both mobility and flexibility. This is really important as well. Working on prioritizing stretching, flexibility, and mobility will help you with better posture. So how many of you as you age, you want to have beautiful posture? You don't want to be like this, you don't want to, or you sit at your desk and have bad posture. You want to have really, really great posture. And so if you can prioritize flexibility and stretching and foam rolling, you're going to have much better long-term recovery of your muscles. And for everyone watching, all 20 eyeballs, I know it's very easy to just listen, and you guys are probably doing things. Some of you are working out sometimes as you listen to me. But yeah, like I love to hear from you. How many of you feel like you need better to work on flexibility or mobility more? Do you feel like you need to work on flexibility or mobility more? And if you're actually wanting to know the difference between flexibility and mobility, you can put flexibility mobility live, because I did that flexibility mobility live like when we first started the group. I think it was my third live in the group, and we are at 121 lives now. But I did an example on some stretches with everyone on what is flexibility stretches and then what are mobility drills. So if you want that live, put flexibility and mobility live there. Okay. But I also am curious, like how many of you struggle with maybe not properly stretching? Oshone, if you're on here, I know like she used to really struggle with flexibility, and she's really prioritized stretching, which is so awesome. Like she's making a point to make sure stretching is part of her routine. Would you foam roll after working out muscle group or wait till the next day? After the workout, Claire, definitely after the workout, because I want to make sure I can get it while it's warm and kind of reduce any massive tension that just built in there. So, and you should foam roll the next day too, but I always do it right after my workout for sure. You need to have more flexibility and mobility, Sherry. Yes. And Sandy, flexibility, mobility live, not proper stretching, Sandy. Yes. I think Sandy, you might have seen that one. You've been in the group a long time. That was like my third live. Like it's like almost 100, more than 100 lives ago I did that, but we will send you the free live to go off of for sure. Is a massage gun as good as a foam roller? Massage guns are really good as well. I really like them. I think that they both have their own type of benefits, right? So massage guns are more targeted towards certain muscle, and it's like targeted towards like knots and things like that. Whereas foam rolling kind of rolls out and smooths out like the muscles. But they're both really good. I like both. I think massage guns are really hard in the back. You guys know what massage guns are? Is that you're trying to reach behind, you're like, ugh, whereas with a foam roller, you can actually lay your back on it and roll on it, right? So I like foam rolling a lot, but then I also like massage guns for some targeted specific areas. Both are really good. Awesome. Good question, Claire. Rosalinda, both. So you need both flexibility and mobility, or you're good with both, Rosalinda? Maybe let me know what you mean by that. Yeah, so awesome. So that's number 7. Okay, so prioritizing that. And as you get older, all of you who are listening or the ones who come and watch later, I think sometimes that is not prioritize, like even I remember having conversation with my mom and dad, and they were getting stiffer. You know, my dad is getting stiffer. And I remember being like, okay, dad, these are the stretches I want you to do. Okay. And I had given exercises like up against the wall and his shoulder mobility and different things like that. And I feel like as people age, they forget how stiff you can get. And then that's how injuries happen, right? So yes. Hi, Laura. Good to see you. You're welcome, Claire. Number 8. So the number 8 part of rest and recovery is, it doesn't sound like it's rest and recovery, but it's related. So I'll explain this. So is progressive training. So you need to gradually progress your workouts to avoid sudden spikes in intensity, therefore reducing risk of overtraining and injuries. And so I find that if someone doesn't really have right programming or proper progression, then they're going to actually hurt themselves or harm themselves or have improper rest and recovery. So in that proper progressive training, you need to have proper technique in your workout program. You need to have proper progression of a move from this part to the next part to how you're going to increase that difficulty, depending on your strength and experience level. And progressive training means not overdoing exercises. Yeah. And so this is another really funny one. So depending on who you are, I think if you are, some of you may, it depends on your tendency. Okay. So if you are naturally a maximizer, like you maximize everything, you do everything 120, 30%, you just go all out, which is Clarice. And I know if Kat Wilson is on here, that is her as well. You have a tendency to overtrain, overdo your exercises. Okay. And so I'm talking to all the overtrainers here. Be very, very careful. That will diminish your muscle building potential and create injuries. If you are the opposite, if you're a minimizer, if you're like a chill kind of person and a relaxed kind of person, in fact, you need to get your butt kicked into the gym a little bit, you may not need to worry about this. What you have to worry about is consistency and get yourself to the gym, which Tracy, if you're on here, we just had a conversation and she's always so open. You need to have consistency. You don't have to be worried about over maximizing. If you're an under maximizer, if you're a minimizer, you should know that yourself. And you're like, okay, she's not talking about me for overtraining. But if you are a maximizer, then you have a huge tendency to overtrain and you have to be very, very careful. And that's why having proper progressive programming is really crucial. And when I worked with I work with different coaches, but yeah, with my bodybuilding coach, that was really, really something I really loved, was like the way he built my programs. And then he had me work at it for a number of months, and then how he built on that program and then built on that program. It really helped me have the right progression in that. And then right now in Olympic and powerlifting, they have different types of progressions as well. So in any training, you want to really have the right progression. You'd want to, number one, try not to be random. Okay. If you train really random, it's going to be like kind of messy and chaotic, and your muscles don't really have an opportunity to like build on itself, and you have more likely to injure yourself, and more likely you're not going to recover properly, right? And yes, Tracy, Rosalinda, Tracy, you need replay, and Rosalinda says you're stiffer as you age. And sorry, I just saw it, Rosalinda. You said, I find I'm cramping at times, especially after leg days, both meaning better at flexibility and mobility. So Rosalinda, for those of you, I know in YouTube, you can't see comments, but Rosalinda says she cramps after a leg workout. Does anybody cramp after a big workout, leg workout, or some sort of workout? I'm kind of curious. If you do cramp, it could mean, yes, flexibility and mobility, but it could mean improper balance of nutrition. If you are not balanced in certain nutrition or electrolytes or certain vitamins, like calcium or magnesium or some other things, or potassium, it can really affect your cramping. And so really looking into that as well, Rosalinda, because nutrition is a huge part of why you potentially may cramp, although there could be physical factors like wearing the wrong shoe, You know, if you're wearing the wrong shoe, you could cramp in your feet, you know, because you're wearing the wrong shoe. But sometimes there's an internal factor as well. So thank you for sharing that, Rosalinda. And hi, Diane. Thanks for joining, and Enid as well. So if you feel like you tend to overtrain or you don't have proper progression the way that you feel like you need, you know, put programs below, you know, to indicate like, you know, you need better progressive programming. Now, I want to say one more thing on this topic before I forget is, you know, with the, oh no, it just was in my head and then it left again. With progressive programming, I know I had something right on the tip of my mind. Okay, I don't remember anymore. It'll come back. It'll come back to me. But I'll also say this. You don't want to overdo cardio as well. If you overdo cardio, you could be causing more stress, more cortisol in your system, and that can decrease your muscle building potential. So you want to have the right balance of cardio, muscle building, and HIIT training. If you follow some of my other lives, you know that I believe you need all three. You need really good resistance training program. You need to have some cardio and some HIIT training in there as well. I just remembered what I was going to say. So in your programming for muscle building, you need to make sure it is programmed in a way where the workouts you're doing sequentially in the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, the way it's sequenced gives your muscle groups a chance to recover from each program, meaning there has to be a way those programs are arranged so that they do not go over wet cement, like I said earlier. If they're not sequenced the right way, you could be doing 2 workouts back to back that hits the same muscle group or similar muscle group, and then we're in trouble, right? So we want to make sure that you have the right progression and sequencing to ensure the most maximal muscle growth possible. So that's what I wanted to say. So if you feel like you need better programming or progressive programming, put programming below, and just kind of identifying that's something that you need to do and not just jump around, okay? So that's number 8. Sherry says cramps from nerve compression, I think. Yeah, for you, you have an injury though, Sherry. So that's a little bit different. I know yours is injury related. So yeah, but I appreciate you sharing. Number 9 is learning to listen to your body. Now, I forget who said this earlier. I think one of the gals mentioned that you just listen to your body when you need a rest day. And I said, yeah, that's a really crucial point. And it is right here, is like paying attention to signs of fatigue, soreness, or even oncoming injuries. This is really, really important. And then adjust your workout intensity or take an extra rest day if you feel you need. I was talking to my powerlifting coach, and obviously in powerlifting, you're trying to get your higher level lifts. And so, you know, he was just talking about how you have to start to observe, like at what point your body starts to fatigue, and then you adjust the weight level down, and then you train at that level. And then next time you come back, you train at higher level. And then there's this like sequencing you do back and forth to now push for higher level weights. And it was really interesting because, you know, his area is powerlifting, and how you have to be so cognizant of when you're hitting fatigue. But every discipline is a little bit different. So bodybuilding has a specific part to it where you want to hit fatigue, where you want to blast those muscles so that you can like get the tear, a mechanical damage in the muscle fibers. And so it really depends on what sport you're talking about. You do not want to be fatigued in Olympic lifting. Like you do not want to be fatigued lifting 150 pounds over your head. So this really just brings up another point for all of you. Depending on what you're training is where you need to know what level of fatigue you need to hit. For bodybuilding, sometimes you're doing an isolated exercise. And I know like Oshone, if you're on here, when we were training certain things to fatigue, she's fatiguing at the right way and safe way, but she needs to fatigue that muscle to get it to grow, like negative pull-ups and like the dropping down from pull-ups, that just blast your muscle fibers. Those are painful, but they blast it and then you can build muscle. But you can only do that because it's a bodybuilding specific, right? You can't do that if you're, again, Olympic lifting, because you would injure yourself. So you have to understand, what are you training for and what level of fatigue you need to hit. And again, if you don't know, or you have specific goals, try your best to work with a professional. It's why I always seek professionals. I want to learn from the best Olympic coach. I want to learn from the best powerlifting coach. I love being able to seek knowledge from people who have experts in that field, because you only know so much in your field, right? So yeah, learn to listen to your body, pay attention to fatigue, soreness, or injuries, okay? How many of you, I'm curious on here, listen to your body, or you tend to not listen to your body? Put it below. Do you tend to listen to your body, or you tend to not listen to your body? And again, Clarice smiles, because I think I'm improving in this area. I've not always been the best. Again, I'm a maximizer, so I like to push through. I like to push through and not listen and just go through, but it's something I'm working on. And I'm sure there's a lot of women on here listening who may have similar tendencies. So I'm just curious, are you a person who listens to your body, or you push through and you don't listen to your body? Maybe you can say need to listen to body more, right? Put it below. I'm not sure, Sherry, maybe you have to just rewatch. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Rosalie says you listen to your body. Good. Awesome. I'm really glad. I think as you get older, you really learn. You learn kind of your limits. You learn what is better for you. But this is a reminder for a lot of women. As I've been coaching a long time, I know some of the women that I coach still have trouble listening to their body, still have trouble like slowing down or addressing fatigue or soreness, right? So that's number 9. And then number 10, the very last thing for rest and recovery. Rosalinda says, listen to body. I am not a spring chicken anymore. Rosalinda, no, Rosalinda, you're amazing. Rosalinda is 63, fierce, and obviously went through the transformation program. If you want to watch her interview, by the way, please say Rosalinda, because her interview was phenomenal. Rosalinda competed back when she was 57. And then she had gained a bunch of weight and had some things she really needed to fix in her nutrition. And through the transformation program, she's gotten really slim again and really fit. And so Rosalinda, at 63, you are an inspiration. So if you want to see her interview, put Rosalinda below. She is amazing. So number 10 is mindfulness and stress management. 64, sorry, you turned 64. Sorry, Rosalinda. Mindfulness and stress management is number 10 for rest and recovery. So why do I bring this up is because rest and recovery, we often think of physically doing something, physically stretching and mobility exercises, sleeping, hydration. These were all really crucial. But the final thing I want to talk about is here. And you always know Clarice comes back to this because Clarice loves mindset. And I am sort of a mindset coach. That is a lot of what I do in another, realm that I do in my other company and everything. So I think that a lot of times our stress and our anxiety comes from the way we think and the way we process things. If we are always high strung, or we have a black and white mindset, we tend to want things to be done a certain way, and we're not very relaxed about things. We can spike our own cortisol without knowing it. Spiking cortisol causes us to have sugar cravings. Spiking when we're stressed and anxious, it affects our sleep. We don't breathe as well. Oxygen doesn't get into your body as much. You start to stiffen up in your muscles. You start to get kinked shoulders and neck. Those, how many of you have really stiff neck sometimes? Sometimes it's all in the way you're thinking and the way you hold on to stress. So learning to practice relaxation techniques like meditation or deep breathing, yoga. So for FFF, Tracy, you're right here. All my FFF ladies we're starting in a week here. Beautiful Brooke will be doing yoga sessions with you guys, because this is a huge part of your rest and recovery. It's a part of you maximizing your muscle growth. That's why I had Brooke come in and teach yoga, because I believe like if you can really not only stretch out your body, but work on mindset, work on proper positive reframing, work on breath technique, all of these things are going to really help you with your rest and recovery and better sleep, better balance of hormones, and so on and so forth. And I'm actually curious, Rosalinda said, thank you, Clarice. You helped me navigate mind and body. I'm so grateful. You're welcome, Rosalinda. You're amazing. And Tracy, I will send you Rosalinda's interview. It is amazing. Hi, Portia. Portia is in the 21-day anti-inflammation system. Super excited for you to start that soon, Portia. So if you are struggling with mindset, or you tend to struggle with mindset like self-sabotage or high stress or negativity or comparison, put below if you struggle with mindset or one of the things like comparison. We have a lot of mindset lives that I've done in the past, so we can definitely send you a mindset live to help you. Or if you're demotivated or you had a big setback, you had family things happen. I know I had a live or two that was like how to make your setback become a comeback. So yeah, if you're wanting more mindset help, put mindset below and we can send that to you. So that's the 10 points on how to have proper rest and recovery. And that allowed you to do a checkpoint on, do you have a lot of these things and which areas do you need to focus on and improve more on? Like I said before, my approach is very holistic. I believe that if you really want the best health, you need to address mindset, you need to address your nutrition, you need to address your rest and recovery, you need to address your workouts. It's very holistic in the way I view things and programming. And so again, if you are wanting to learn more around programs, put programs below. This Sunday is the cutoff for FFF. So if you want to learn more about the FFF group coaching, put FFF below. Or if you want to learn more about the 21-day anti-inflammation system, put 21 below, and we will reach out to you. Oh, and I see mindset, Melissa. Yes, I will send you a mindset live as well. So yes, hopefully this was helpful to all of you. And thank you all 20 something originally that joined me, and sending you all lots of love, and go and have a restful night. All right. Have a good night, everyone.